I did enjoy yesterday, Stugotz, watching on social media after someone started this Juju getting in on the fun by asking our audience, worst thing that you've ever heard said during an interview. There was a lot of stuff that we have had fun with on this show. What's the most insane thing someone has ever said during an interview? And Juju assembled a little montage here of just a few for your perusal.
All right, you got a dog named Holly Berry. Is she bad or is she bougie?
She's dead.
No!
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Sterling's right-hand arm, man. I'm Mr. Sterling everything. I'm his confidant, his best friend, his silly rabbit.
His what?
His silly rabbit.
His silly rabbit?
Yes.
Is that what he calls you?
No.
You ever get caught in a girl's room like that?
I
when
did.
her dad came home?
Like 3-4 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
What happened? What if daddy walk in there and say I'm next?
One time I went in the bed.
What are you talking about?
What happened?
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
Nope.
And this is it.
Could a father not marry his son?
Well, there are laws against incest.
It's not incest between men. Incest is there to protect us from having inbreeding. But men don't breed.
And we welcome you, James Brown. How did all of this trouble begin?
Living in America. Is nothing wrong?
Nothing wrong at all. You're not in any difficulty, but you're out on bond.
No, I'm not.
Have all the charges been dropped?
Yeah, I'm out on love.
Yeah, you did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
Quite the dismount there.
My God.
Had a chance to make up for it.
I mean, the last two of them, are very different ways of handling domestic abuse situations, because James Brown was being asked questions about that and just decided to start singing.
That's what you do if you're James Brown, I guess.
Have you ever watched Jordan Peele's bit on the James Brown interview on CNN? He doesn't do anything creative with it. He just recreates it. It is a shot-for-shot recreation. All the dialogue's the same. It's just Jordan Peele being James Brown, because comedically he didn't think he could improve on it, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and look that up on your own time if you like. It is exactly the wrong way to handle all things related to how you relate with women.
We also have what I consider to be the best follow-up in journalism history.
His what?
It's pretty good. It's why Barbara was the greatest. Yep. It's one of the reasons she was willing to speak on behalf of the audience.
His what?
I want to ask you guys, Stugotz, you've heard me say on this show a number of times, it's one of the, I think, best-kept secrets in sports, that the Los Angeles Lakers are a mom-and-pop shop. They don't have other businesses, and they subsist off of getting Shaq and Kobe and LeBron and keeping together what the Showtime Lakers built. But the disgraced son of the Buss family, the one you never hear about, Johnny Buss, who lost the power struggle to Jeannie Buss, who was featured in Winning Time, and you can see how dysfunctional all the Buss stuff was with the Lakers.
He's like Coop Manning?
He's not like Coop Manning. He's like Connor from Succession, the useless brother who's now actually running for president of the United States. He's running for president of the United States. Huh. The family didn't trust him to run the Lakers. And he's going to parlay that. Not only the family and a sexist dad who his owner was always going to the games with Playboy models, chose a woman to run his franchise instead of Johnny, even though Jerry Buss was considered to be sexist. And you can watch Winning Time and learn some of what it is that Jeannie Buss did to earn that position. It's merit-based.
Yeah, well, not initially. Remember, she didn't get the team initially, and after her brothers failed, there was language in the transition that she could reassume power, and then ended up winning a title in the bubble and an in-season tournament, proving that she should have been running the franchise the entire time. The tagline for this presidential campaign is "Bus on America," which doesn't make any sense because Get on the Bus is right there for you.
So the Bus son is the one running for president, not the succession son.
Right. Even though this is Connor Roy.
It is Connor Roy from Succession, the failed son of the family, among a lot of failures, ran for president with no chance to win president. I thought it was a joke. I had to look up, because you have to understand the Buss name in Los Angeles. I think Jeannie is the one most associated with competence, even though Jerry did a lot of winning, but he was viewed as a maniac who was totally out of control with everything, including finances. But Johnny Buss is this family's disgrace. The Buss family doesn't have that much money compared to other business tycoon owners in sports. And Johnny running for president, I'd like to interview him. I want to know what his platform.
Well, you have to give the other candidates equal time.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You gonna do that?
Yes.
You can give RFK Jr. the opportunity to tear apart at the seams on South Beach sessions.
Oh, God.
In exchange.
Like, I've seen him with his shirt off, and he looks like, compared to the other two guys, the picture of health, but then he opens his mouth, and you're like, wow, this could go at any time.
I would make that trade, I think. We're going to have some trouble with that Trump interview, I think. But in exchange for Johnny Buss, would it be worth it? I ask you. My wife, incidentally, has just texted me and says that crypto billionaire's costume can be here by Monday if any of you guys want to suffer that as a penalty.
Don't subject the audience to your dirty talk.
You're the one that asked for it. We wouldn't want to take that from you. I mean,
I just want somebody to do it. I don't want to be the one to do it. I just feel, as how often happens around here, I just take it up because nobody else will do stuff.
We appreciate you.
Does anyone else owe anything anymore?
I'm good.
That can't be right.
I checked my.
That can't be right.
Well, just because you found a way to have 25 football games in a season doesn't mean like I lost
it can't
4
be
times.
right that you guys have paid all of your penalties.
All paid up. I did Rocky.
I have to dress as Austin Powers. I think I have one left.
There's no way that's
so you can
correct.
Be the guy.
You guys haven't actually paid most of these penalties.
I checked because there's such immense pressure in this place to dress up for the hosts. I check daily. Yeah. I'm good.
I don't believe that the audience would believe that you guys actually did what was required from anything that Grid of Death dispersed in terms of penalties.
You know what? Not a single mention on my social media feeds where it's just like, you're not dressing up enough. Not a single one. In the 20 years that we've been doing this, I haven't heard a complaint from any fan that says, Mike, you don't dress up enough.
If they're complaining about the fact that you dress up too much. I mean,
now that I see.
You do not see.
But that I have to explain privately. I DM people. He's got a kink. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys have checkmated me on this. There are an assortment of things. Look, I'm gonna reveal the audience. I don't like allowing people to look this far under the curtain, but I saw something that legitimately enraged me the other day in this realm, and it is meant to enrage me. It's why it exists. I saw that one of our regions is costume related. And when I saw the #1 seed in one of those regions,
what are you talking about?
The amount of rage that came over me because Stugotz spent the whole season cheating, getting the golden helmet of life for the 3rd consecutive season. He still owes stuff from 4 years ago at the Clevelander. He's supposed to freestyle on a stage.
Def Poetry Jam.
Oh, yeah.
From 5 years ago at the Clevelanders. You guys tell me that all the punishments have been paid. Billy.
Hey.
Who's the #1 seed in the costume region?
Well, I mean, if we're ready to reveal it, I wasn't sure if we were ready or not. The #1 seed in the region of death, because it's the Grid of Death, so region of death, is none other than Stugotz as Rocky.
Wow. Oh, bravo.
What? Nailed it. I mean,
that is his tracksuit.
Yeah.
Now, I'll remind everybody.
What?
A committee got together and there was voting and what have you, and I'll remind everyone, this is fan voting. So if you feel like this isn't a worthy number 1 seed, you can easily vote this out against the 16 seed that will be decided by a play-in. But if you think this is great, you can vote for this to win the entire tournament.
Yeah.
So
and you will. Thank you.
If you position it as an ET costume, he actually knocks it out of the park.
Well, that was red, wasn't it?
And let's not forget that March Sadness is presented by Get Your Guide. Yeah. Discover over 100,000 unforgettable travel experiences in the U.S. and around the world at getyourguide.com.
For those listening and not watching, the Rocky costume is just Stugotz wearing a gray hoodie.
And putting the hood on.
There was sweatpants, too, I believe.
I don't think he wore the sweatpants. I don't think he ever put those on.
Yeah.
I did talk to the accounting department also and was told that Stugotz took this costume home. Oh, no. So I believe you will be charged for said costume because it's not part of our wardrobe now.
Really?
Yeah, so you're going to have to
I can bring it back.
Take it up with Carmen. Again, you can vote for this if you want, but if you think this isn't a worthy number 1 seed, feel free to vote it out. It's up to you, the fans.
Right. This is where you checkmate me because now that's going to win the tournament.
I hope it wins the whole thing.
Only because it enrages me. Well, you guys have already ruined this, so you might as well just take it to completion.
Well, I think, audience, this is the best way to show Dan he's probably going too far with the costumes. If Stugotz wins this entire thing, you will send a message to leadership.
Billy, who else is in this region? I'd like to just, I feel like tomorrow we're going to get swamped, Stugotz, with one of the most fun days in sports. And I feel like this week we have done a very poor job of undermining what has been one of our best features every year, which was the Looks Like tournament. Incidentally, I talked to Tim Kirchin this morning. He's got a new podcast coming out with his son that he is very excited about.
Wow.
And yes, look at that. Roy's applauding.
That's awesome.
And he moved me because he said that my father and I were the inspiration. I missed Tim Kirchin. I missed the Looks Like tournament. What else are we going to give people in terms of the region of death?
Well, so in the region of death, there's also a play-in tonight, Dan. The region of death, number 16 seed Tony is going to take on number 16 seed Roy. Here's Tony.
So that's Tony from The Matrix.
Neo.
What are you shaking your head about, Roy?
How is the Barry costume a play-in game? How am I not higher on that one?
Well, here's the thing. If you feel like you shouldn't be a 16 seed,
I got to vote?
You can go vote, and then, again, if this, represented by Roy, the 16 seed play-in from the Bear.
It's a good costume. Roy, it's such a good look for you.
But there was great costumes this year, Dan. Like,
look,
you
Dan's
alone.
dressed as Rocky too in that video.
When you see the whole region, you're going to be shocked they're not all Dan costumes. Like, you're going to be like, what?
Well, the problem is,
Lucy was the Extra Swift?
If I win, I face Stugotz in that Rocky costume. And that's going to be automatic loss.
Yeah.
So this is your fault.
Welcome to democracy, Jack.
Democracy.
Is this not?
In Russia.
You got to get the entire hockey show behind the Bear.
Yeah, all 2 of us, all 3 of us.
Well, I meant like people listening. Yeah.
All 5 of us, all 6 of us.
Give me some more montage from Juju on those insane interview clips, please.
And I tell you, I don't wish that girl any bad luck, but I hope she gets hit with a car.
We got an issue in America. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
How the officiating went down the stretch there, but you guys pulled it out and was a big win.
David Stern wonder why the league is losing money. That's why. People pay good money to come watch these athletes play, and they try to take over.
Shaq, we're on live. I know.
What has he done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson, what has he done?
Well, he's a business person.
He's got AIDS.
I would assume what's the opposite of homosexual?
Heterosexual.
I would assume his ass is a homosexual. And he different. So if he was not a homosexual.
You gotta say heterosexual.
A heterosexual. So if he was a heterosexuals, bro, I'm gonna assume that you a heterosexuals and bro a heterosexuals too. I'm already a heterosexuals.
Yeah, I had one coach, and he used to say, "Put yourself in situations where you're not comfortable.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.
I ain't go to college, but I turned it down.
Oh.
Yeah, I turned it down just to do this, just to grind from the rap.
So you had an opportunity to do the drumming thing.
A scholarship and everything.
Where at?
I think it was like in Jacksonville. Yeah, a big band in Jacksonville. It was a big college though, and they offered me like 10 million or something like that, 5 million, something like that.
Wait.
A scholarship.
Okay, but not $5 million. They offered you $5 million to play the drum.
Yeah.
What you doing here?
Like, what for y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was so younger, like,
wait.
I didn't know what it was.
Are you sure they offered you $5 million?
I turned it down. It was a scholarship, like, I had to go to school for this decade.
But you would get $5 million?
Yeah. It was somewhere, it was in the millions, though.
I believe that we need to come up with imaging that protects us on the front end of these by just calling it problematic. On the front end, that we're just, but we're presenting it without comment. We're just sort of, these are things that happened on the air once upon a time during a different time that are a little bit insane.
Well, the comment should be, this is problematic.
And kind of like the Tyreek Hill stuff, we're shaking our head the entire time.
We should be shaking our head, but also laughing.
What's going on with him? There's something every week with this guy. And it's just, I know Dolphin fans, if he were like with a division rival, you guys would be pointing it out left and right. But there is like something, he's accused of something or every other week. He's in the news. Like the best thing that's happened to him in terms of public relations is his house caught fire. This guy, what is going on with this guy?
That was good news.
There is a cluster of stuff, okay, because the news has leaked at different times. Clearly, at the end of January, around when his house caught fire, before a woman broke her leg in his backyard because something happened in his backyard playing football, there was evidently, not just video, but some issues that rose from the house catching fire, and then a post-nuptial agreement I mentioned earlier this week. I'd never even heard the phrase before Tyreek Hill introduced me to the phrase post-nuptial agreement, because there was a public filing of divorce that Tyreek Hill denied, even though there was a public filing of divorce.
A post-nup?
A post-nuptial agreement.
Yes.
You'd not heard of it. Nobody here had heard of it. Nobody here either had heard of a post-nuptial agreement. That is, by definition, when you say, oh, bleep, I didn't get a prenuptial agreement, you get a post-nuptial agreement.
But if you didn't get the prenup on the front end, how are you entitled to the post-nup on the back end?
I know you did. Well, this is a negotiating problem after you've been married, and basically it is the cause of much strife because Tyreek Hill has a lot of children, a lot of baby mamas. There's a lot of money going out. And I think we can all agree, beyond the mere multiple suggestions and proof that he has hit women and children, this is a reckless person. There is some recklessness happening in his lifestyle that cannot be disputed, but he ended up here with it. Got the stardom he craved here, got out from under Mahomes. Stugotz, this part's interesting. They had 4 years of Hill in Kansas City. They won once. They've had 2 years without him, and they've won twice. And all of us are saying, well, that offense isn't as good without him. But what the Dolphins traded for, they got. And what Tyreek Hill wanted beyond money, he got. He got stardom. He got freedom. He got out from the confines of however it felt to be in the shadow of Patrick Mahomes and under the discipline of Andy Reid.
But it also appears the Chiefs got what they want. They're still winning, and they're winning without him, without the headache.
Okay, but we said
the full story on the whole post-nuptial thing is that police were called to his home on January 30th. There was a domestic dispute between Hill and his wife. His wife said that, alleged that Tyreek Hill smashed an unlit cigar in her face. Hill denied that he actually struck her, says that he only flicked the cigar.
Mike Ryan pointed out soon after Tyreek Hill got here, oh, that's why the Chiefs didn't allow him to be interviewed very much in public. He came here for more freedom and more stardom, has gotten both.
Yes. Well, he came here for more money.
Right.
And the Chiefs couldn't give him more money if they wanted to pay Patrick Mahomes his money because it's a salary cap. Like, it's not like they wanted to rid themselves of the headache. They just couldn't have,
But there was a branding opportunity for him that apparently wasn't available to him in Kansas City, and he started a podcast. I don't know if that's still going on, but he has publicly facing, his reputation has kind of improved from his time over at Kansas City, while this stuff is still bubbling beneath the surface and is not all that talked about in the mainstream media.
It will be once this volatility boils over into something else. It will be. It's coming. Right now, it's, these things are made worsened when you have video and audio. We've got a burning house, but we don't have facts and details that aren't under dispute because Tyreek Hill is denying, initially, that he filed for divorce when he's blaming it on assistance.
Clerical error.
No, and since then, once that happened, Stugotz, everything else has been reported, but Mike's not wrong when he says, now that Antonio Brown is out of the league, the one with the biggest storm of weird turbulence around him in the entire league that has eradicated a lot of this stuff with multiple incidents. We're not even talking about what the hell happened on that boat a few months ago where he just hit somebody.
Yeah, where there was some video, but it wasn't exactly what the victim had alleged. Aaron Rodgers also kind of has something week to week. Too. But when Antonio Brown was going through it during that whole Raiders thing, he was routinely in the news cycle with unseemly things that if it were true would be vile, and Tyreek Hill is approaching that territory.
But with Aaron Rodgers, it's harmful messages and words. With Tyreek, it's actual harm to people.
Allegedly, yes.